We could live a higher quality of life. So instead of thinking about all these negatives and what could go wrong and what happens if you fail and, oh, you're going to start then, I want you to think about the positives. Fuck, that would feel great. Well, damn, why aren't you doing it then? Let's take these actions. Let's do this shit. Welcome to another episode of the JJ Velasquez Show. I'm your host, JJ Velasquez, and in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you what I believe to be one of the biggest roadblocks, one of the biggest obstacles I see when it comes to people wanting to be more successful, wanting to get in better shape, wanting to do great things, wanting to do more. And I'm going to talk about it here in a second, but let me first start off by sharing with you exactly what I mean. So I was just at a conference this last couple days, 2-day conference. My man Bedros, and lots of really good stuff in there. But what I want to take away from this, and what I want to really share with you is, I met lots of guys there who were in the same exact boat that I was 3 years ago when I first started going to seminars and things like this, and they were there very unclear of, where they wanted to be. Some of them didn't even really know what they were there for, why they were there. Not sure what they were going to get out of it. Lots of uncertainty. They just knew that they wanted to do better. And that's the same thing with me a long time ago too. When I first started going to self-development seminars, I went with my fiance at the time to my very first one. And then I started going to them even by myself because I saw the value in them. But what I really got out of these, and what I saw with lots of these men there, is in the beginning. So that's how they were in the beginning. They were just like, oh man, like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not really sure. I'm working a job. But just, I kind of want to do better, but I don't know. With basically no vision, no clarity, no kind of guidance, in the beginning. But what happened was, as by the end of the day, at the lunch period, as you talk to more of these guys, you can see that their mindset starts to change. They start to get different ideas, because I was talking to lots of these guys and just giving them pointers and giving them strategies and opening their minds to things that they haven't thought of. And I talked to, Craig Ballantyne and, lots of these guys that I've known for years there, and that I actually was talking to too. And it's like, that is the value of this stuff when you actually plug into these communities and you see these guys and you start surrounding yourself with people that get you to think differently. Because for most of us, our friends, our family, they don't have the goals, the vision, the ambition to get to do different things. And I got lots of guys, and lots of these guys I met there were telling me the same thing. One guy in particular who I became pretty good friends with was telling me he just, he's at home. He was in the military. And he knew he wanted to do something else, but all of his friends, all of his people that he hangs out with are kind of just okay with being average, being the same, making that same, working that 9 to 5 and just doing, what every normal person does, work, retire, all this stuff. But he knew he wanted to do better. He wanted to do more. So I was really happy that we got to connect, because like I said, that was me a couple years ago. I gave him lots of ideas on exactly what he can do to grow business. He wants to get into fitness as well. And, I think he's going to do really good with it. But in the beginning, he told me I almost didn't come. I almost didn't pull the trigger. He said that his wife actually pushed him to come, and it was one of the best things he did. And so, and the same thing that I guarantee you, after talking to lots of these men in the beginning, when they left this event, they felt inspired. They had new ideas, new ways of thinking, because they surrounded themselves in a community of people that were at higher levels, people that had done more, people that challenged their way of thinking, people that challenged them on the way they're living right now, thinking that that's okay, that just making that income that you're making right now is okay, that job, and when I see guys like that, that's the first thing I want to snap them out of. Thinking that 75K is just a great living when you could be doing 275K. When you are, and you think, oh, working a 9 to 5 is great and you have a great job, until you realize that you can be replaced in an instant, until you realize that you have to ask another man if you can take time off to spend with your family, in case you realize that you are working to build another man's dream. You're busting your ass, you're leaving your family, you're going to this job to build another man's dream. And you realize, I should be doing that for myself. And, so talking to lots of these men there, that's what really started to happen. So I applaud them, and I'm so glad that I got to meet lots of these guys that took that first step. because that's exactly what most people struggle with. And I want to talk about this in more detail, but it's that cost of inaction, the cost of just living where living how you are right now, thinking that that's the best you can do. And so much people get caught up on this. Like, I actually invited a couple of my clients and people I've worked with and said, hey, go to this seminar because this is going to be life changing, because I know the value in this. I don't just blow smoke. I don't just tell people a lot of this stuff I post on my page, my content. I don't just say it for no reason. Like, I tell you this stuff for a reason, because this shit changed my life. And I want the same thing for you. And if I'm telling you, like, hey, do this, just like when Bedros and these guys that I work with and that I'm close with tell me do this, I'm going to do it. Why? Because they're at where I want to be in life, and I'm learning from them. And I've grown my business and grown my life a lot by taking the right actions on exactly what my mentors and my coaches and the people that I've surrounded with have told me. So same thing with these guys. Like, hey, I'm going to tell the people that I want to succeed and the people that I work with, go to these seminars, read these books, listen to these podcasts, do the self-development. Why? Because that's what worked for me. And I want that same success for you. And I want you to change your life so you can have that income you want, so you can have the body you want, so you can have the life you want. And that's why the same thing I do this podcast. But at the end of the day, it's up to you what you do with this information. It's up to you to take those actions, to do these steps, to do what it takes to succeed. Because you could read everything, you can listen to everything you want, but what are you actually going to do about it? You have to be an action taker, because information without implementation is just knowledge. Knowledge isn't power. Knowledge with the right actions and knowledge and implementation is power. So you can't just keep reading and keep listening and keep doing all this stuff and not do anything about it. And that's the biggest obstacle I see when people want to succeed. It's that inaction. It's these fears. It's these waiting for everything to be perfect. It's this procrastination. It's this waiting, making excuses. And the cost of not taking action is going to be a lot worse than if you were just take imperfect action. Just take that first step. And that's what I encourage all you guys to do, because guess what? Everything's not going to be 100% perfect ever, no matter what it is. That's just an excuse you tell yourself in your head on why you should wait. Oh yeah, I'm busy right now. I'll start next Monday. Well, guess what? You're going to be just as busy next month. Oh, next month I have less time. Like, who knows? Something else is going to come up next month. Or maybe you'll have more money next month, or you don't know that. And you're just making all these excuses in your head that are still going to hold you back. So instead, it'd be a lot better idea. And what I told a lot of these guys to, and what I practice myself, is take imperfect action. Just do what you're going to do. Take messy action and just take that first step. Because guess what? You're going to learn a lot along the way. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, now I'm in the mess. Now I can figure stuff out. You can try to wait till everything's 100% perfect in your mind and, wait. But just imagine this 1 month goes by, this 3 months, this 6 months, and you're still in the same exact position because you're trying to build a website, or you're trying to do this, or you're waiting for this, when you could have already been ahead with taking action, 6 months down the line. So that's the biggest thing I see in it. And it's just, sometimes maybe it's not having the right mindset, or just, it's these old fears. It is a step outside of your comfort zone. Oh, damn, now we got to start doing new things to be successful. I got to start learning more. I got to start reading more. I got to start, doing, it's scary to step outside of my comfort zone. Maybe I'm going to start building a side hustle. Oh man, I'm leaving my job. Lots of us can get caught in this fear of failure, but also the fear of success is a real phenomenon. Lots of us, what's going to happen when we start making a lot more money? Now, maybe we're going to start getting haters. Oh, we're making a lot more money now. Maybe friends and family are going to start giving us crap. We never know what's going to happen. So sometimes we can even have this fear of success. Like, oh, damn, like we just don't, it's the fear of unknown. But same thing of failure. What happens if I try this new business? What happens if I try this new diet and I fail again and again? Good. That's the point. You're never going to get better unless you fail. Some of my biggest failures in life lead it to some of my most successful times in my life. In fact, when I was doing an in-person training and COVID happened, the worst thing that could happen to anything, all the gyms closed. Oh shit, what am I going to do now? It was one of the best things for me because I discovered online training. I discovered going online to be able to help people. Oh crap, we don't have a gym now. How am I going to get in shape? Well, damn, I got to go learn a bunch of body weight workouts now. I got to start figuring out how I can still get in shape without a gym. So that's exactly what I did. I learned how to get in shape, burpees, push-ups, all kinds of different exercises that I had never done before. I'd only done weights. I'd only done that type of stuff. So I had to learn different things, step outside of my comfort zone, because what was I going to do? Just let myself go and just, oh, no gym now. I guess I'm just going to get fat. Hell no. That's not a standard I have set for myself. So shit's going to happen all the time. But we have to learn how to adapt, to take different actions, to do different things so we can start getting different results. So, hey, but from that COVID happening, lots of people were in the same exact situation. Oh, damn, you're in the same situation. You used to work out, and now you don't have a gym access, and now you don't know how to get in shape. Or maybe you had a trainer at the gym, but now you can't go to the gym. So how are you going to get in shape from home? So I, catapulted my business and exploded my business because I was able to help lots of people without gym equipment. And now I work with lots of busy guys who travel and stuff like that and, don't have equipment all the time, or maybe they're working out from home. Now they have a trainer, that can help them and a coach that can help them around their busy schedule, even with no equipment. So it was one of the biggest blessings for me was this, biggest obstacle, this COVID and all this shit happened. But hey, what can we learn from it? How can we get better? How can we adapt? And hey, I'm so glad. I'm actually thankful COVID happened because, like I said, I got online. I had to learn how to do online. You think I knew how to sell? You think I knew how to market all this stuff? Online. I was, an EMT, firefighter, personal trainer, all this stuff that I did in my background. I didn't have no sales experience. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to build a program. I didn't know how to do all this stuff. But I learned. I adapted. I got in really good shape with bodyweight workouts. So now I can help men do the same thing. So it's like when we just because we think that something's going to be hard or it's going to be different or that it's a failure or something's going to change or it's a step outside of our comfort zone, you never know what could happen on the other side of it. So we can't just let failures or fears get in the way because that's a sign of growth. That's a sign we need to step into it. We need to lean into it to take action on these things because we never know what's going to happen. Like if you've been thinking you want to start this business and you're going to be really good at this, but you're just waiting. You're just waiting till well, yeah, I'm gonna start January 1st. I'm gonna start New Year's, or I'm gonna just read this course. I'm gonna build my website and get my logo and all. Dude, you're losing time. You're waiting too long. You should be taking action. I made all kinds of mistakes in the beginning of my fitness journey. I was doing, live workouts. I think I was charging like $30 a month for I don't know, just like a crazy 30-day challenge. And it's just like, damn. But I learned a lot along the way. I got better. I learned we don't need to do this. We need to do this. I need to get better at this. We're gonna learn a lot along the way. Same thing when, when I got this podcast, B was like, hey, we need to jump on a podcast. We need to do a podcast. We need to get, you need to start expanding into YouTube and do all this stuff. Like, well, damn, I've never even made a video longer than 5 minutes on YouTube. Like you look at lots of my old videos, maybe some of my workouts and stuff, but me talking for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like, oh shit, I've never done that before. That's going to be hard. That's a step outside of my comfort zone. How am I going to talk for 20, 30 minutes? You need to, but at the same time, I knew I needed to do it because, hey, when someone tells you something, when someone tells you what to do to drive your business, when someone tells you what to do to get in better shape, when someone's giving you a blueprint on exactly what you can do to better your life, you need to take action on this stuff. You need to stop just waiting and procrastinating and making excuses and just, asking permission and doing all this stuff and asking opinions and, hey, should I do it? Like, just do it because you'll find out hey, I guarantee you, as you get into it, you're going to be a lot happier that you started 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Hey, just imagine even fitness. Oh, next week, next Monday, next month, pretty soon maybe you have a heart attack. Maybe you have a health scare because you waited for too long, because you waited for everything to be perfect. So I really want you to think about, first, let's talk about fitness, this cost of inaction with your fitness. Oh, how long do you really want to look in that mirror and not be happy with what you see, knowing that that's not your best, feeling unconfident, having to keep your shirt on, thinking about losing this weight, thinking about this fat stomach, thinking about all this stuff that you're not happy with. And yet you're spending so much energy just thinking about it, thinking about, oh, I have to keep the lights off when I have sex. Hey, I'm out of breath. I can't keep up with my daughters. I can't keep up with my family. I don't have the energy to keep up. Oh, damn, now I got pre-diabetes. Now I got all this stuff. How long are you going to let yourself keep going down this path you're currently on right now? What is this cost of inaction? Because I guarantee you, maybe you don't have any health problems right now. Maybe you do. You think those are going to get better on their own? No. So how much is it going to cost you as you gain more weight, as you get sloppier, as you get healthier, as you lose more confidence? Is it going to cost you a relationship? You're going to get cheated on? You're going to get left? Are you going to, lose your relationship with your kids because you can't keep up with them? You're sitting on the couch, you don't have the energy to play with them. So you're losing that relationship with your kids because you're so out of shape and you can't do anything with your body that you don't even have the energy to go play with them outside. How's that affecting your relationship with your kids? Hell yeah, it's a lot. They're going to remember that. Hey, Wouldn't you rather be the dad that's like, oh yeah, me and my dad, we did this run together. Me and my dad, he used to be my basketball coach, my baseball coach. He used to play sports with me. He used to throw the ball with me. We'd go run and we do these activities. Like, that's the example we want to set. That's the dad we want to be, that shows up. That's dad that, we're flexing in the mirrors and we're working out together, and I'm doing my workout and my son's doing my push-ups with me. That's the example I want. That's how I want my kid to be that man that shows up as a role model. So don't think just because you're maybe comfortable where you're at right now, it's not affecting you, because we can always be doing better. Maybe it's affecting your kids' relationship. Yeah, maybe think about 5 to 10 years if nothing changes. Is it going to affect your relationship then? Yeah. Because guess what? Maybe you're going to be more unhealthy. Maybe it turns into pre-diabetes. Then maybe it turns into full diabetes. Oh, now you got high cholesterol. You have sleep problems. Oh, worst case scenario, I've seen some crazy shit happen with people's health. And that's exactly why I actually got into fitness, because I used to be an EMT and see what would happen later on in life when people didn't take care of their fitness, losing limbs, diabetes, losing, like a guy was like literally guys with no arms and no legs because they couldn't discipline themselves to fucking eat some better food. They'd rather have their leg chopped off. They'd rather have their arm chopped off, because you can't discipline yourself to put in some food. That's ridiculous to me. Or these guys that are just so overweight that pretty soon they end up in a wheelchair because they can't even fucking walk. Like, that's ridiculous. And so I've seen what happens later on in life when you just keep waiting, procrastinating, and let yourself go. So that's why I'm so passionate about pushing you guys to be in your best shape, because I've seen what can happen on the worst sides of fitness, when health goes, when people die of heart attacks at 50 years old. Like, damn, you barely even got to spend any time with your kids. Like, damn, you only got to see your kids grow up to 30 years old before you died because you fucking couldn't even put down the cheeseburger, because you couldn't even do a workout here and there. Like, that's ridiculous. You just, ruined your kid's life. You think that they want you to die at 50 years old? Hell no. We should be at our best and take care of our health and fitness so we can be around into our 80s, 90s, fucking 120, like whatever it is. So that should be a goal we have, to take care of ourselves. So we feel so fucking good about ourselves. When we look in the mirror every single day, we're proud of ourselves. When our kids look at us, that they're proud of us. So we have good health. So when my kid wants to throw the football down the street and my kid wants to do a sprint with me, I can do that shit. I'm not going to be out of breath and pain in my knees and pain in my back because I'm not at my best. Like, I want to be able to enjoy life to the fullest, be able to take my shirt off at the beach and fucking rock that body and be like, hell yeah, because I'm at my best, because I prioritize my fitness. That's the man that we want to be. That's the man that I want to show up with. And that's the man that I want you guys to be, is to have that confidence, to look your best, to be able to have all the fucking energy in the world. I don't care how old you are, to do the stuff you want in life so you can enjoy a higher quality of life. Because what you don't realize right now is that if you're overweight, 30, 40, 50 pounds, doesn't matter how much it is. If you're overweight, if you're tired, if you're sluggish, if you're thinking about how fat you are, of your rolls hanging over, if you're having to button your shirt and tuck in your shirt and think about, your stomach and all this stuff, you're not at your best. You're spending so much energy on something that doesn't make you happy. So I want you to realize that by you constantly waiting and thinking about it and just looking every day and not doing anything about it, you're only hurting yourself. Because nothing's going to change if nothing changes. I say this all the time. But how long are you going to continue to let this go on? Another 3 months, another 6 months? You're going to do it again and then quit? Like, what's going to happen if you don't do... What's going to happen? I want you to think about this. What's going to really happen if you don't solve this problem? What's going to happen with your health? What's going to happen if you keep going down this path you're on right now? Are you going to get better and get in better shape and lose that weight and feel your best and look your best and be that role model and have a good relationship with your wife and, live a high quality of life? Or are you going to let yourself get worse and let your health problems get worse and let your body get worse and start feeling like shit and start feeling even worse? The metabolism is going to slow. You're going to start losing more muscle, maybe bone mass later on. Like, I want you to really comprehend what I'm saying here. Like, you're constantly waiting for something to change. Like, you need to change. Nothing else needs to change. You need to change. Your actions need to change. Your disciplines need to change. Your habits need to change. Your consistency needs to change. Pretty soon, fuck man, you're in the best shape of your life. You're feeling great. You're looking great. And you're going to be happy that you started. And I guarantee you, I've worked with, over 500, close to 600 men now. And not one of them has ever said, oh man, I regretted starting this. That's what I want you to realize. No one has ever said to me like, oh man, you know what? I should have waited till January 1st to do this. Why did I do this now? Like, no one has ever gotten a really good transformation, got in the best shape of their life and been like, oh man, I don't know why I did this. Like, hell no, that doesn't happen. These guys are excited. These guys are like, fuck, I feel so good. I have the confidence I've never had in my life before. I just, I'm always with my shirt off, or, hey, I was sprinting down the street and, able to keep up with my kid, and we were playing basketball. And like, I hear all these positive stories, all these great stories from men that have transformed their lives because they took action. And that's the biggest difference. People that take action get results. And that's just the fitness aspect of it. Of course, I want you to be at your best in the fitness, and we should always be striving to be better. So I want you to really take those first steps. So I don't care if, hey, you're going to start walking more. You know what? You're not doing any activity right now. Just get your ass up. Just start doing 3 walks a week. Boom, boom, boom. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 30 minutes. Make it easy on yourself. Stack those wins. Okay, you did 3 days. Maybe now you're going to lift weights one of these days. Okay, maybe now you're going to add in one more workout. Maybe you're going to start, doing a little bit more activities. Start lifting more weights. Start doing more runs, more cardio, whatever it is. Just start small and just fucking never stop. Like, that's the biggest thing. Just start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't go, I'm going to get in shape and then try to do 7 days and you're going to feel down on yourself. So take those small steps. Small, simple steps every day is how we get results. So I don't care what it is. Like I said, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just make it consistent long enough. You're going to get the results. I've had guys lose lots of fucking weight just by, hey, they're getting 10,000 steps and, controlling their food, tracking their food, doing whatever it is with the nutrition. Suddenly they're to the goal. So it doesn't got to be so complicated. Sometimes we think we have to have the perfect formula and all that stuff. Of course, having the right plan and all that stuff is going to get you there a lot faster, and you can learn different things. But I don't want to let that stop you and thinking that everything has to be perfect. So if you're in a situation right now and you're not doing anything, I want you to just take that first step. And if you are doing something and you're still not getting the results you want, well, maybe we need to take an additional step now. Maybe we need to start tracking our food. Maybe we need to start weighing our food. Maybe we need to start lifting heavier. Maybe we need to add in an extra day. So what can we do to take different actions to start getting results? Maybe it's the nutrition. Hey, we're eating fast food every 5 days a week. Let's cut that down to 3 days a week. Hey, eating ice cream every Sunday or having this beer or this alcohol every night. Let's cut that off. Start taking these steps to start getting a different result. Because like I said, that's, what the cost of inaction is. I just told you, and I don't want you to go down the path. So I want you to start getting better with your health and your fitness. Number 2, what is it costing you to not have the income that you want, to not have that financial freedom? How is that costing? How much is this costing your relationship? They say the divorce rate's 50% or whatever it is. And the biggest struggle that most people have and the biggest struggle that most people fight over is money. They don't make enough money. They're struggling. They're stressed out. They're arguing. So how much is not taking action to do the steps to improve this affecting your relationship? Your kids, how is it affecting your kids? Not being able to take your kids where you want, on vacation, to buy them nice things, to do nice family stuff together because you can barely afford, because you're living paycheck to paycheck. How much is this costing your relationship? How much is this costing your family? And then also I want you to think about this too. And I really got some value from what, my buddy Dan Fleshman and, even Bejas were talking about this weekend. Like, first of all, if you think that money is evil, money's evil, or making a lot of money is bad, like, that's the first thing we need to change is your money mindset. And that's, a whole nother topic for another episode, but we can do a lot of good with money. And they always say, hey, if money can't buy happiness, well, that means you haven't given enough of it away. Because having money, you can do lots of good things with money. And they always say money amplifies the person that you are. So if you're a really good person right now, only good things are going to happen as you start making more money. You're going to be able to give that away. And I personally, that's one of my biggest things that I love doing for most people too. If I see a friend post something like they need money for like a donation for their kids' soccer team or baseball team, hey, I send them money. Hey, if I see some, one of my friends, buddies, or I was at, the market this morning and it was a girl's birthday and, she was doing a charity and no one was talking to her, and like, hey, I just went by and just dropped her like $10. Like, no big deal. It's not a whole lot of money, but it's just being able to do good things with money. Even if you have very little money right now, like, hey, as you start making more money, like, share that wealth, share that money with people. You're going to feel good about yourself. So not only can we do good for lots of others and help lots of others, maybe friends, family that, hey, maybe they're in a pinch and you're going to help them. I've donated lots of money to family with like, medical problems and stuff like that. And just think about that. What happens if, we never even think about this, but what happens if your family is not good with money, like which my family, they never really learned to save and have all this money in the bank accounts and stuff. So, what's going to happen later on in life too, if you don't have money in your bank account, if you can't pay for a funeral, if you can't pay for medical expenses for your own family, to be able to help them survive longer, medicine and all this stuff later on in life's expensive. hospice and, all this stuff and all there's so much medical stuff that can happen later on in life. So I want you to think about just not making enough income to get by, but making enough income so you can enjoy a higher quality of life, to do high quality shit. So I want you to think of money in a few different ways, but and why we should make so much of it, and why I'm constantly striving. I get these people that, comment on my ads or whatever. Oh, 5 to 10K is struggling. Like, yeah, to me it is. Because we could be doing so much more. If you're getting by on a $60,000 lifestyle, like you're just so much you're limited on that. You can't really do all these crazy things, expensive things. Maybe you could take your family on a vacation once a year, but imagine if you could take your family on a vacation 3 times a year. Imagine if you could buy your wife a nice gift. Imagine if you could buy the clothes you want, the car you want, the house you want, the toys you want, the cars, the boats, whatever it is. Imagine if you could spend a weekend with your kids on your boat. Imagine if you could show a kid an experience and something that maybe it costs a couple $1,000s, but you're able to do this stuff. You're able to show your kids different experiences, maybe that you never experienced because you got money. So there's so much we can do, and we can elevate our lives to a new level and experience so much different things. Experience fancy hotels, first class travel. They treat you differently on there. We get a meal, and we get to they bring us little towels when we wash our hands, and it's just a higher quality of life. But when we can have finer things in life, and there's lots of value in that. We start to feel good, like, hey, every time I fly first class or, spend money, I feel good about this stuff because I feel that, hey, man, I've earned this. When I drive my car my car that I love and that I was dreaming about, like, I feel fucking good driving that because I've earned it. And it's always a reminder to me of, you've earned this, and this is the value. Like, I'm helping lots of other people, and so I get to make money doing something I love, but we get paid on the value we provide to others. So that makes me feel good that, hey, I'm able to live a good quality of life because I help so much others. And so, I want you to think about this right now. Like, when was the last time you were able to, take your family on a really good vacation? And I'm not talking like a couple $100. Like, I'm talking about a couple $1,000, maybe $5,000 weekend. Taking your wife to a $300 dinner, going out with family and being able to pay the whole bill. Like, these are some of the things I love doing and that I can do because I have money. So we shouldn't be afraid of money or that money's all evil and stuff. Like, I want you to start making a lot more money. And I don't care, maybe it's building a side hustle. I don't care, whatever you got to do right now. Build your skill sets. But one thing, I got some other I got some other episodes on how to make more money, how to, go into that stuff. And if you haven't checked those out, go check those out because, I talk about how investing in yourself and building these skill sets and building different habits and getting better at whatever your career is right now or whatever you're doing for a living right now. So you can start making a lot more money. Or like I say, you start building a side business. Now you start working on in the weekends. Pretty soon it becomes the main hustle. Maybe you're making a lot more money now. So just because you're in a situation right now doesn't mean we have to be there. Guys, 3 years ago, I was, broke. I couldn't even pay my $2,000 rent. I got kicked out. Like, I had to go live with this fucking, like overweight guy and this like 400-pound guy. And, like exact opposite of who I want to be, exact opposite of someone I want to live with. Like the worst case scenario, like, dude, you're the exact example of who I don't want to live with. But I had to go live with a roommate. I had to, suck on myself and I had to do what I had to do. Like, I had to go live with this guy, but hey, I'm thankful for it because, hey, he put a roof over my head, when I was barely getting by and stuff. And that really catapulted me. And that's, you've seen the video I posted and I'm like, I'm done struggling. I'm done living like this. And I changed my whole life completely. So don't think it's going to take long, or don't think that, it could take forever, but it just goes back into that cost of inaction. If I would have just kept on working in, a job, when I first lost my job, I was applying for like, I think a bartending position, and I didn't get that job. And that was a big wake up call to me. And even my fiance was like, hey, you know what? You weren't meant to get that job. This is happening for you. And that's one of the biggest things I realized, like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to figure this out. So instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to go look for another job, I'm going to take different actions. I'm going to start, that was my sign that, hey, I'm going to figure this out. I don't care what I got to do. So that's when I started investing into coaches and stuff, because I was so determined to get myself out of that situation. And I started taking action after action after action, waking up every single day, 5 a.m., watching motivational videos, watching self-help stuff, started taking different courses first thing in the morning and blah, blah, blah. And I did all this stuff to build up my success. But it all goes back into wanting to do better and just not thinking about it. We can think about being successful and stuff, but hey, maybe that was your January 1st New Year's resolution. How much has changed? this whole year? How much has changed since last year? You know, and we could, and I just want to really encourage you guys, if we have these goals with our fitness, if we have these goals with our finances, you know, to make more, I want you to start taking action on it, because nothing is going to change if nothing fucking changes. And I will say this over and over, and just start small. And I want you guys to really take imperfect action. Just do what you got to do, because you're going to figure it out, especially if you really want something. Like, you're never going to know what's going to happen as you're in the business anyways, just like I didn't. Oh, damn, if I start this business, what's going to happen? You're not going to know. And that's part of it. You know, anything like this, we're never going to know, oh, hey, if I do this diet, you know, that goes back into these fears of what's the worst that can happen. And that's that mindset again, that self-confidence trying to hold you back. But that's when you need to lean into it. That's a sign that you need to take this action. So if you have these goals you want to achieve, I don't want you to wait anymore. I don't want you to keep thinking about it anymore. I want you to take one action that's going to move you one step forward. And that's all we have to do. I don't want you to procrastinate. I don't want you to wait. I want you to figure it out. If you don't have the money to invest into a course, into a coach, and to do something, well, figure it out. What do you got to do? I've had clients take out loans. I put my own stuff on different credit cards and multiple credit cards and piece together any money I had. Back when I was very broke, I used to take payday advances out. Like, damn, I don't even have $250 in my name to get to my next check that I have to go take out in advance. They're going to loan me this money until I can pay it back. Like, that's how I was, but I got resourceful. I had to figure it out. I had to take different actions. I did what I got to do. And now I'm in a completely different situation, but it's because I didn't just say, oh, this is it, how it's going to be. I took these actions every single day. I figured it out. And if you have that mind, and if you're listening to this, that tells me one thing, that you're serious about making a change, that you want to do better. So I applaud you for that. But I want you to just not take this information and just, oh, that was a great, you know, that motivated me. That was great. I want you to take an action on this. I want you to take one step forward. Hey, maybe you're going to do a quick Google search. Maybe you're going to find a course. Maybe you're going to invest in a coach. Maybe you're going to start do a workout today. Maybe you're going to go out for a run right after this. Maybe you're going to hit the gym right after this. Whatever it is, just take that first step, because I guarantee you, and like I always say, I'm not just blowing smoke. I guarantee you that you will be so happy that you started now, and not 3 months from now, not 6 months from now, not New Year's, not later on. Today. We start today. We take action, because like I said, that's the biggest thing holding so many people back, is that inaction, these procrastinations, these fears, this doubt, this negative self-talk, these negative friends. But we push all that aside because we know where we want to get to in life, and life can be so much better when we're feeling our best, when we look our best, when we have money, when our relationships are great because we have money, we can spend the time with our wife and we can take her on nice places and we look good and she looks good and we could live a higher quality of life. So instead of thinking about all these negatives and what could go wrong and what happens if you fail and, oh, you're going to start then, I want you to think about the positives. You know, where can you really be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, if you just started today, if you took those actions, if you didn't procrastinate no more? Like, what would be that perfect outcome for you 3 months from now? And I tell this guys with my fat loss clients, like, imagine if you were, 25 pounds down 90 days from now. How would you feel then? Oh, I'd feel fucking great. Well, that's what's possible for you in only 90 days. Oh, imagine if you were making, imagine if you hit your first 10K month, 20K month, 90 days from now. How would that feel? Fuck, that would feel great. Well, damn, why aren't you doing it then? Let's take these actions. Let's do this shit. And I guarantee you, man, you're going to be thanking me later. So like I said, if you watch this podcast today, if you listen to this podcast and you got some value from this, I want you to do me the favor. I want you to do your family a favor. I want you to do yourself a favor and take actions on these goals, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And like I always say, life gets better when you do. We do it 1% every single day. Take those actions. Get after those goals today. Let's fucking go.